Every spring, it's the same thing. You stand in front of the shelf, read labels, put bags into your cart. Tomato fertilizer, compost activator, mulch. Everything separate, everything expensive, everything used up by summer. And then, the next year, you start all over again. There is one single plant that makes all of those purchases unnecessary. You pay for it once. After that, it just keeps growing. And you stop buying. The frustrating part isn't the money. It's the feeling of being dependent. Dependent on whether the store has supplies in stock, whether the granules run out before the tomatoes start blooming, whether the compost finally starts working. Gardeners who know Comfrey and use it properly have broken that dependency. They no longer buy tomato fertilizer. They no longer buy mulch. Their compost works reliably. And all of that comes from one plant they put in the corner 3 years ago. In the last video, I showed you what Comfrey can do biologically and why Amish gardeners in Pennsylvania have been growing it for generations. Today, I'll show you all 5 practical methods, how to use it, in what amounts and on what schedule, including the potato trench trick, where most people are genuinely surprised the first time they see what they dig up in the fall. You'll learn, first, how to make a Comfrey liquid fertilizer that replaces expensive bottled tomato fertilizer, and why it works. Second, 3 more methods that take almost no effort and transform your garden over the long term. And third, the 5th trick the Amish use for their potatoes, and the one you'll never forget after this video. This is the method Comfrey is best known for, and the one that is most often underestimated, because most people don't understand why it works. You cut a generous armful of leaves, wear gloves while doing this, because the large leaves are covered in fine, stiff hairs that can make your skin itch. Stuff the leaves into a bucket with a lid, weigh them down with a stone, and add a little water. Or simply let them rot down dry. After 3 to 4 weeks, the leaves will have collapsed into a thick, dark liquid. Now for the honest warning, this liquid smells terrible. Keep the bucket far away from the patio. But what's sloshing around in there is concentrated potassium from soil layers your tomatoes would never reach on their own. Dilute it 1 part Comfrey liquid to 10 parts water until the solution looks like weak tea. Then water it around the base of your tomatoes, peppers, and squash every 1 to 2 weeks once they begin to flower. The potassium shifts the plant from leaf growth into fruit production. Gardeners who do this regularly report tomato plants that are still standing and producing in August, while neighboring plants are already turning yellow. That is the direct replacement for a bottle of tomato fertilizer, made from the leaves of a plant you can cut 3 to 4 times every summer. The second method takes even less effort, and you'll wonder why you ever bought mulch. Chop and drop. Cut it and let it fall. That is literally all there is to it. 3 to 4 times per season, you cut your Comfrey plants back to a few inches above the ground. Then you place the leaves exactly where you need them, around your tomatoes, beneath fruit trees, over potato beds. You don't have to compost them. You don't have to shred them. You don't have to carry them anywhere else. Comfrey leaves contain very little lignin, the woody structural material that makes many organic materials break down slowly. Without much lignin, the leaves decompose directly on the soil within a few weeks, feed the earthworms underneath, and release all those deep-mine minerals straight to the roots of the nearby plants. It is the laziest, most effective fertilizing method you will ever use in your garden, and it costs 10 minutes with a pair of scissors. The third method solves a problem many gardeners know and nobody likes to admit: the compost pile that simply refuses to work. Every gardener knows this moment. The compost pile has been sitting there for weeks, cold and soggy, refusing to work. You've added greens, water, soil, and still nothing happens. A few handfuls of Comfrey leaves layered into the pile work like a starter motor. Because the leaves rot down so quickly and hot, they pull the entire pile along with them. The temperature rises, the microorganisms wake up, and the remaining materials in the pile follow. Old gardeners called Comfrey a compost activator, and that is exactly what it does. One plant in the corner of your garden, and your compost finally works reliably. Now come numbers 4 and 5, and number 5 is the trick you won't forget after this video. fruit trees are hungry for potassium. Especially during fruit formation, they need a steady supply of potassium, and most home gardens can't provide enough of it from the existing soil. Comfrey chop and drop around the base of your apple, pear, or plum trees is one of the simplest ways to meet that need. Lay the freshly cut leaves in a ring around the tree, away from the immediate trunk area and out toward the drip line. The leaves mulch the soil, hold moisture, suppress weeds, and rot down into exactly the nutrient profile a fruit tree needs during the growing season. 3 to 4 times per season, every time you cut comfrey. After 2 or 3 years, you'll see how the harvest changes. And now, method 5. This is the trick you've been waiting for. Potatoes are hungrier for potassium than almost any other vegetable you can grow. Their yield, their size, their quality, all of it depends on potassium being available at exactly the right time and exactly the right place, while the tubers are swelling underground. The trick is incredibly simple. When you plant your seed potatoes in spring, lay a thick layer of fresh comfrey leaves directly into the trench before closing it up, right underneath the potatoes. Then cover everything as usual. Over the course of the season, those leaves rot down exactly where the potato roots are growing, and the tubers are swelling. They release their potassium directly into the root zone, at the right time in the right place, without you having to do anything else. No fertilizer, no follow-up treatment, no extra work after planting. Gardeners who try this for the first time often stand there in the fall, amazed at what they dig up. The potatoes are not just a little bigger, they are noticeably bigger, more even, firmer, without a single bag of fertilizer. This is the trick Amish gardeners in Lancaster County have relied on for generations. One trench, a few comfrey leaves, potatoes on top, and then wait until fall. Before we wrap up, one last practical note that decides whether all of this will work for you or not. If you don't have comfrey in your garden yet, order Bocking 14 root cuttings, not seeds, not some other variety. I have distributed this variety in the neighborhood, everyone uses it. Talk to your gardening friends, share it, and make sure that you only share the Bocking 14 variety. It is not invasive and will bring a lot of joy to everyone. 2 or 3 pieces. Plant them in a quiet corner where the taproot can grow downward undisturbed. Give them this summer to establish. Next year, you can start cutting seriously for the first time. If you already have comfrey in your garden and you're not sure whether it's Bocking 14, check whether the plant produces seeds. If it does, it's the wrong variety. One and it will spread. Replace it. Start this summer with the simplest method, chop and drop. Cut once, lay the leaves on the soil around your tomatoes. You don't need to do anything more. Next spring, potato row, comfrey leaves in, potatoes on top. Or start now by watering with comfrey fertilizer. Then wait. 5 methods, 1 plant. Planted once, it works for you every summer, as liquid fertilizer for tomatoes, as mulch for fruit trees, as an activator for compost, and as a deep-set nutrient reserve for your potatoes. The garden supply industry depends on you not knowing this, on you starting over every spring, buying again, paying again. The Amish gardeners of Lancaster County never shared that belief. They put a stubborn plant in the corner and learned from it for decades. You can do the same. Bocking 14, 2 or 3 plants, corner of the garden, this summer. The plant asks for nothing. It digs, collects, gives back. All you have to do is cut them.